operating system basics and operating system architecture. Okay. So kernel, this part we have discussed. So today we will be discussing about this file system management. So file is a collection of a related information like a file with respect to the source code or executable codes, text files, image files, Word documents, audio and video files, etc. The file system management service of kernel is responsible for creation, deletion, and alteration of files, alteration of the directories, saving files in the secondary storage memory, that is a hard disk, providing automatic allocation of file space based on the amount of free space, providing a flexible naming convention for the files. The various file system management operations are OS dependent, for example. Okay. So to take this real time example. So I just stop. Okay. So now you can observe that all question papers, assignments, module, so all Word document, zip files, PPTs, right, PDFs, and it is in order. So if I take the question paper part as an example, which I am showing, how it will be arranged and all those stuff. Right. So this is your second IA. So this is your answer script. So whatever whoever have taken the IA, second IA, so their assignments have been stored into this folder. Right. Now you observe if you give file name as ES, okay. If you give file name, because all it is in different naming convention which they have given, okay, and it is not according to the USN number. See here, first they have given USN number followed by ES, second IA. Here they have given 16 EC 62 ES, then name followed by USN number. Then see 18 years CEC 61. So students they doesn't know how we have to give the naming convention also. Okay. See how much problem it will be there for us. Okay. I need to find out this one, then I need to enter. Now these are all the naming convention which we are following, right? Which you will provide. See, first they have given name here, then USN IA2. See how however they want they are writing the names. Okay. Now what is the problem for us is that so here this is a evaluation sheet. Okay. Right. So this is the evaluation sheet. So you can observe that part one, part two, part three, part four, how many marks, total marks, right? So this is all your USN number starting from one. So I have to take this, I have to search where is that. So this is the thing. So I need to open this one. Then I need to check the marks. Means how much I need to evaluate it. I need to evaluate it, and then I need to enter here. Right. What how I will find out this USN2? So where is so this is USN2. Then you see 28, then 49, then 6. So it is all becoming a hectic task if I don't know the naming convention and all those stuff. And here I am entering all the marks, right? Individually, how much you have scored in each question, right? Then I have to give this maximum from 1A or 2A. So, 0 and 8 is their maximum is 8. Okay. 0 and 10 is their maximum is 10. I think nobody has written two questions. Otherwise, I would have shown comparing the marks. Okay. So I have given maximum marks. Then this marks, this mark, okay, this mark and this mark, I will choose the maximum. Then finally, I am having the total. So this is one way which I'm doing. This is the evaluation sheet which I follow, to have. Then in this, you can observe that this is second line. So I am having the question paper. I am having this scheme here, right? Then evaluation sheet. Then your answer sheet. And this is a record. It will be present to me. This is for similarly for the first IA. So we are following some pattern so that it will be very easy. See, I'm writing first IA, second. So every time if you follow these things, it will be very easy for us to decode. That is the main agenda what he is trying to tell here. Right. So if I don't follow that one, what is the issue? You are not going to, you will take more time to evaluate the things. That is a problem which we have. Okay. The various file system management operations are OS dependent. For example, the kernel Microsoft DOS OS supports a specific set of file system and that are not same as a file system used by the Unix kernel. Next, we have IO system device management. Kernel is responsible for routing the IO requests coming from different users application to the appropriate IO devices to the system. In a well-structured OS, the direct accessing of IO devices are not allowed, and the access to them are provided through a set of application program interfaces, which is API. Okay. The kernel maintains a list of all the IO devices of the system may be advanced or updated dynamically as and when a new device is installed. So it is in the lab also we have observed. I want to connect that kit to my system so that USB port when I connect to my laptop, then what happens? I will get a sound, some interfacing has been added to your device. And relating to that software, it will download by itself if we are having the internet. That is the thing. The service device manager of the kernel is responsible for handling all IO devices related to operation. The kernel tasks to the IO devices through a set of low-level system calls which are implemented in a service called device drivers. Device manager is responsible for loading and unloading of device drivers, exchanging information and system information, control information to and from of the system. So generally what I wanted to conclude in this slide is that, so we have n number of input devices, n number of output devices. When we connect to the processor, so it should indicate, it should root, it should process, and it should be enabled, and you should be able to see that device. So USB, when I connect, you will get a sound. When a Bluetooth is connected, I will get a sound. When anybody is calling, then you will be getting in Teams. If you observe that, if somebody makes a call, or I am having an option of calling purpose also. Right. So I'll just show you an example here. So I just can click request to join. If I click on this one, so a call ring will reach to them and they respond, then you will be added. Right, that is a one example which I can tell. Secondary storage device, so always usually primary device storage memory, it is for the storing your source code. And when you wanted to source any files and extra other what you call files which is there, you can store in the secondary storage. Usually your images, your videos and everything, it will be stored in a secondary device. It is observed in the mobile phone also. It is observed in the laptop also. For example, you can observe that. So I'll just open my laptop. So I can see C drive. When I open this one, so all my driver circuit, my Xilinx software, right? So everything it is present here. So when I take other drives like work drive, so all my related conference, my PhD work, my softwares, so everything it is arranged in this drive. And if I go to the center domain, then you can observe the images, video files, and everything it is available here. Means what? Segregation for secondary memory, how we are going to use everything, it will be of this order. Okay. So secondary storage management deals with managing the secondary storage memory devices, if any, connected to the system. Secondary memory is a backup medium for programs and data, since the main memory is a volatile memory. What is volatile and what is non-volatile? Volatile means you cannot change. Non-volatile means you can change. That is the main thing you can observe. In most of the system, the secondary storage is kept in disk, which is a hard disk. Right? So hard disk, you will be storing all the content which will be present. So I will be doing exactly the same way which is it. So when I go and check, observe this download part. So here when I go to this SVC previous year data. So you can see here odd semester all information 1819 it is stored here. Right. Then 1920 even sem odd sem. 2021 even sem odd sem. Now whatever data will be there, it will be present here. Okay. This is how I am storing my information so that it will be very easy for me decode. Now I'll just show you one more example. And not taking attendance and everything, it will be there. No, you just go to this ES 2021, and if I go to this attendance part, so you can see that all attendance, special class attendance, everything it is been saved. Every day I am saving your attendance. So you can see here 51 items. So 51 days attendance is present here. Okay. Similarly with the well with respect to the lab. So where is this embedded system lab? Yeah. So these are the attendance which has been present here. But you can observe here every attendance it has been recorded and maintained here. Right. So we require proof when committee comes whether you have taken classes or not. So this is the attendance things which will tell that we have taken means we were taking attendance and we calculated from these things. See here I'm writing here, I'm following some pattern. First embedded system, the ES is a thing, subject name, then what is the date and which is the period. So subject name ES 16 to 2021 and third is the third period. This not only for you, so your subject for wireless communication for 8th semester also. So you can observe your attendance, all the attendance it is present here. This is how we calculate your attendance and we will measure because we need to follow these things because some committee will be there. And obviously whether we have taken classes or not to check that one. So we are recording this session and recordings are available. And now these recordings is also posted in the YouTube. So you can just now I have posted only 5 videos. Right. So if you go to this Mr. Rajendra Prasad P, so you can see here the playlist. So you can observe your embedded system and you can find here WCLT. So I request all the students to search this my name, yes, search this my name and go and subscribe. So if I go to this play on, I put module 1 like ARM32-bit microcontroller history. This is a one video which is there, right? I'll show you. See here, post means microcontroller history, ARM context architecture, ARM architecture versions, interrupt exceptions, ARM instruction set. So 5 videos I have uploaded. So how many videos, whatever sessions I have done, everything I will upload here so that you can also benefit from this thing. Right. So these are the proof and everything whether we are taking we are doing, it will be very useful for you people also. So there's so much effort we are putting, and we expect you to uh, contribute. Means you need to score well, and you need to understand the concept in a better way. Okay. These are all secondary storage management. That is why I've given as an example to you these things. The secondary storage management service of kernel deals with disk storage allocation, disk scheduling, free disk management. So when I wanted to allocate memory, because you can observe that I have shown here also. See here 229 GB which I have allocated and use is 47. 200 GB I have allocated, 141 is free. So 500 allocated, 333 GB is free. So total of 1 terabyte information is there, out of which we have utilized like this. So this is the disk partitioning, how we are going to do, how we are going to segregate and all those things. We can segregate our these things if we follow simple steps. Okay, that is the thing which you can find. So then we have this protection units or protection system. Most of the modern operating systems are designed in such a way to support multiple users with different level of access permission. You will be knowing there will be an administrator, there will be a standard, there will be a restricted permission in Windows XP, right? So my account it is with only one account I'm having. So that is the administrator account which we have. So example for that also you can check how I can check this administration and all those things. Again, go to this part, go to this section. Now I want to go for this setting. Okay, I will go for password, right? So these are the password which has been present. Okay, now what I'll do is that I'll take one of the passwords. I wanted to see this password. Okay, I am viewing it. So I cannot able to see this one. So he is telling that Google Chrome is trying to show password. Type your Windows password to allow this. So this is a user account Savika Patke. So here I need to give password. So I'm giving my password. So you can see that what is the password here. So other thing also if I want to, because you are giving access, that is the meaning here. Okay, that is the meaning access which you need to have. Okay, so that deals with this protection system, administrator, standard, and restricted. So protection deals with implementing the security policies to restrict the access to both user and system resources by different application or process or user. In multi-user supported operating system, one user may not be allowed to view or modify the whole or a portion of another user's data or profile. In addition, some application may not granted with permission to make use of the system resources. This kind of protection is provided by the protection service running with the kernel. Then we have this interrupt handler. So if any interrupt occurs externally or internally, you should be able to resolve that one. That is the main thing of this processor. If somebody has a query, I need to stop and I need to give service to them. Then again, I need to continue. That is the flexibility you should have. Kernel provides an handler mechanism for all external and internal interrupts generated by the system. Then we have this kernel space and user space. Okay, so what is this space relating to this? What is kernel space and what is user space? So some memory will be allocated for your OS, some memory will be allocated for you to try your things. So that is what we call it as a user space. Okay, and kernel space is for only the kernel application which we cannot change. Okay, the application services are classified into two categories, user application, kernel application. Kernel space is the memory space at which the kernel code is located. So I will be not able to observe these things. Okay. So what is the source code and everything if you ask? So again I will just open this thing, I'll open my conference pack. Right. I think Control J, no. Control K, no. Control A. So this is a program, right? We will get here some keyword we have to enter so that this source code it will open. Anyone knows how to open this code? Some shortcut is there, right? I'm saving here. I'm giving. Anybody knows how to open that code? Some link we have to shortcut to open HTML. Shortcut keys to open the web code in VB. Control Alt F7. No, that is not coming. Shift F7. Shift F7 is not open. Control Alt Shift F1. Control R. Okay. This source code it will open here. A small window it will pop up. Control U. See. So this is a page, and to open this one, you require this code. Okay. So this is a source code which is present. So these are to get this image or picture. So we have written this code, and this I cannot edit and I cannot upload. To again to log into this one, we require this FileZilla, and we can open that one. So if I want to copy this one, you can just copy and you can take the server, right? So always any website, if it is there, you can copy that one and you can edit your name and you can upload that one. Okay. So that is one example which I can share you for this kernel space and the user space. Okay. Kernel space is a memory space. Kernel application service are kept in this contiguous area of a primary memory. It is protected from unauthorized access by user program application. User space in the is the memory area where user application are programmed and executed. Okay. The partitioning of memory into kernel and user space is purely OS dependent. Some OS implemented this kind of partitioning and protection, whereas some OS do not segregate the kernel and user application code storage into two separate areas. Right. So these are the two separate areas which have one is virtual memory and one is demand paging technique. So these are the two methods which are there for the support of this application loaded. The entire code of the user application need to be loaded to the main primary memory at once. The user application code is split into different pages, and these pages are rolled into and out of the main memory area for on the need basis. The act of loading of a code into and out of the main memory is termed as a swapping. Swapping means between the main memory to the second memory you are changing the program. Then we have two types of kernel. One is monolithical kernel and one is microkernel. The kernel forms the heart of the operating system. Different approaches are adopted for building an operating system kernel. Based on the kernel design, kernel can be classified as a monolithical kernel and micro kernel. So what is this monolithical kernel? Means you are segregating your OS into two sections. One is monolithic, one is micro, right? So monolithic kernel, all kernel runs in this kernel space. Here all kernel modules run with the same memory space under a single kernel thread. Okay, so you have only one memory and all applications you are going to allocate for this and you have a single thread. Okay, so monolithic means what? Whatever interfacing, memory, hardware, everything it is there, it will be linked to only this part. And this execution will be in the cyclic order, means in the ascending order. So whoever will come first, he will be executing first. That is a concept which is trying to do in this monolithical kernel type. Okay, the tight internal integration of kernel modules in monolithical kernel architecture allows the effective utilization of the low-level features of the underlying system. The major drawback of monolithical kernel is that any error or failure in any one of the kernel module leads to the crashing of the entire kernel system. That is what I was telling. I said that all your devices and everything it will be linked and it will be in the one program only. If one is having a problem, then complete system will be corrupted and you cannot run. See, if virus is there in D drive, E drive, still your processor will work fine. But if virus is present in the C drive, so whichever application you try to open, it will be shortcut. That is a thing which you can observe. And that virus, if it is there in your main processor, then your complete laptop will be corrupted. That is a main problem which you find in this monolithical kernel type. Examples of this monolithical is your Linux, Solaris, MS-DOS, and are the example of this monolithic. Right. So the architecture representation of this is what? So kernel with operating service running in a kernel space and it is attached to this multiple applications. Okay, this is one example. Microkernel design incorporates only an essential set of operating system services in the kernel. The rest of the operating system servers are implemented in program known as the servers. So here what we do, for everything we are not going to give to one person, we will divide into multiple sections, right? That is why this memory management, process management, timer systems and interrupt handlers are come. So memory management, if it is there, means what happens, like if I'm having a some code file, some file, so which where you wanted to store it, whether in primary or a secondary. See, if there are multiple processes present, so which process it should execute first, that we should give. Then we have a timer system. We need to give some time allocation to the processor for the interfaces to run so that it will be running efficiently. So these are some examples of this microcontroller. And obviously, sir, when monolithical is having so many problems, then why it is required? You can remove that one and you can give microkernel, right? So these things are temporary basis, but monolithical is the permanent one which we require. Right? Example of this microcontroller, sorry, microkernel is the Mac, QNX, Minix are the three example of this one. Sir, what are these things? So these things you need to go through with the OS part, then only will be able to understand. Okay. So this microcontroller, again you have essential services like memory, we have application, then we have this services routine. So it will follow this procedure to perform the operation. And this is the architecture representation of the microcontroller. So what is the advantages of this one is that it offers benefits of robustness. It offers configurability. Right? What is robustness? If a problem is encountered in any of the service which runs as a server application, the same can be configured and restarted without the need of the restating the entire OS. Okay. Now example is that if I open this web thing, right, and if it is not working, I am closing this one. Right. So again, I am reinstalling this executable file so that I will be able to log in once again. Right. So what I will do, I will go for this control dot delete. Okay, I will go to this task manager. So I will open this Google Chrome. So you see up there. So this task is not responding. I'll select this one and see this is open. Okay, now I will select this Google Chrome and I will give end task. So that is been ended. Okay, it's temporarily which has been there. Few of the things which will be not control, I cannot do that one. This is available in our mobile phone also. You'll be able to observe that also, right? Then advantage is what configurability, any server which runs a server application can be changed without the restart of the whole system. Right. This makes the system dynamically configurable. Next topic is on the types of operating systems which are present. Right. So types of operating system which we have is the general purpose operating system and which is the real-time operating system. So depending on the type of kernel and kernel services, purpose and types of computing system where the OS is deployed and responsiveness to application, operating system are classified into different types. One is GPU OS, one is RTOS. Right. In your curriculum also you are having this topic called as RTOS, which you will be studying as a elective in your higher semester, and operating system you are learning it as an elective in this semester only. So I hope everyone who have joined, because majority of students professional elective, you have taken it as operating system. So you will be much more knowing about this general purpose operating system in that subject. So what is this general purpose operating system? The operating system which are deployed in general computing system are referred to as general purpose operating system. The kernel of such a GPOS is more generalized and it contains all kind of service required for executing general application. The general purpose operating system are often quite non-deterministic in behavior. Means they will not respond on a real time. It will be on a non-deterministic. Everything it will be planned and you are going to get the output as and when you are executing that program. This service can inject random delays into application software and may cause slow responsive of an application at unexpected times. GPOs are usually deployed in computing systems where deterministic behavior is not an important criteria. Personal computer desktop system is a typical example of this GPOS. Windows XP, MS-DOS are the example of this GPOS. Now main topic is on the real time because we want every time in a real time a responsive for the processor. Right? Real time implies deterministic timing behavioral. So when I insert a card within 5 seconds or 10 seconds, money should be outputted. Right, login, connectivity, everything it is on a real-time basis, which is all on a deterministic type. Deterministic timing behavior in RTOS context means the OS service consumes only known and expected amount of time regardless of the number of services. A real-time operating system or a RTOS implements policies and rules concerning time critical allocation and all this. I'll just give an example to this one, the real-time responsive time. So I will go for this assignment type. Okay. So this is our subject. So now I have put in a draft. So you can see quiz embedded system 15.7 which I have created today. So 11 o'clock is the deadline time. Now I am assigning. So when I assign, immediately it is not going to do because you will see I am assigning to so many all students. All students means indicating how many people are there. So for I'll just assign this one. Anyhow, you have 11 o'clock time. So you can easily do. So see, it is not there in the draft. I hope it will be available in the post now. See, quiz has been initialized. Due is July 15. So when I open this part, so I will come to know what is the deadline time, which is at 11 o'clock. Okay. So I will take another 5 minutes, then you can take up this quiz. Okay. You have 20 minutes of time to do that quiz. Right. Predictable performance is the hallmark of the well-designed RTOS. This is best achieved by the consistent application of policies and rules. Policies guides the design of RTOS, rules implement those policies and resolves this part. Okay. So the real-time kernel, so these are the basic functions of the kernel. So what it does, again, task process management, task process scheduling, task process synchronization, error exceptions handling, memory management, interrupt handling, and time management. So these are the functions of a real-time kernel. Okay, and this part we will be covering tomorrow. Okay, so all of you can take up the quiz now.